Hey guys, welcome to the Big Blue United podcast. My name is TJ. I'm here with Dan and Colin. How are we feeling today, guys? We took last week off. Our season's over, but we have just a fun and exciting offseason to look forward to. The draft, free agency, getting new toys, as we like to say. But what's been going on with you guys the past 2 weeks?
I feel like a new retiree, just sailing off into the sunset. Nothing but blue skies ahead. We got our favorite part of the year coming, and this time we've got competent people steering the ship. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I feel pretty good too. I mean, the only thing that kind of scares me is the possible coaching situation where we might not have our coordinators that head both sides of the ball, but we shall see if that's the case, and we'll get into that.
I definitely want to start with that because I think it's the most important thing to do. But before we do that, let me big up the sponsors and whatnot. Don't forget, follow Big Blue United, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Our homeboy Ian is out there sharing all kinds of fun information and deals and all kinds of stuff. So you should give him a follow for sure. You can follow us, BBU Pod Boys with a Z. I haven't been tweeting so much because when I go on Twitter, it's just like, for some reason, it's no Giants things and it's just libs of Tip Talk and Matt Walsh tweets. That is the Big Blue BBU Pod Boys feed. And I don't follow any of these people. I don't know what happened. I have no idea. But it makes me sad to look at.
There must have been some algorithm thing where you got into a spat with someone who that person just so happens to follow all of these awful pages.
Yeah, I try not to do any political spats in there. I won't say I never do because, it's just in my nature. I'm a person with strong moral convictions. And when I see injustice, I feel the need to call it out.
Yeah.
Also,
real SJW.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. I'm a SJW. I'm a white knight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I move the goalposts. I do straw mans.
Yes.
I don't know what the other things people say. But I most certainly have never done my research.
No.
That I can assure you.
Yes.
No research. Never done it. Well, that was fun. Don't forget to download the DraftKings app. Use promo code TPPN. And we have a sponsor today, which is Asobu. AsobuBottle.com is their website. They are a company that make water bottles, stuff for like your barware, your alcoholic beverages, your sleeves, your koozies, fitness supplies, pet supplies, coffee, tea bottles, more. Dan, they sent you something over. You want to tell us a little more about it? Wow, look at that unit.
Oh, you mean an Asobu bottle? Check this thing out, man. This is incredible. This is called the Mighty Jug. This holds 68 ounces of liquid. It keeps cold water cold for 24 hours and hot water hot for 12 hours. Should do a coffee challenge with this thing.
Yeah.
Get your day going good.
You'll never go to sleep again.
Yeah. No, but I really like it. It does keep your liquids the proper temperature, the desired temperature. This one holds a lot of it. I've been trying to drink a lot more water because apparently that's a good thing to do. And if you drink, one of these a day, you're probably doing okay. But I'd like to drink 2 a day. That's really, if you do the math, you're supposed to be drinking like 120 ounces when you weigh 200 pounds plus. Anyway, excellent water bottle, durable. There's a great guarantee on it. If this thing gets damaged or whatever, they'll reimburse you fully with a new water bottle. So there's a lifetime guarantee on it.
Love that.
It seals. There's no condensation on the outside. It's super high tech. Quality is excellent, and there's a lot of like water bottles out there, competitors you might have seen. This I believe from what my very short market research, at least price wise, comes in below a lot of those, but the quality is just as good or even better. So very, very pleased with this. There's like 100 different options for kinds of bottles as well. So definitely check out the website. TJ said it. It's ASOBU. That's AsobuBottle.com.
Do your research.
AsobuBottle.com. Yeah, Dan, I have to
do your
say,
bottle research.
I went on the website and I do agree with you about the pricing because there is another brand out there that I mostly associate with dudes getting drunk in the middle of the woods out of their cooler of that brand. And this is a very similar, I think, product to that and much better priced in my opinion. So
nice.
Check them out. Get yourself hydrated.
Yeah, looks sick.
can I take that to the brewery and get it like a growler fill?
Yeah.
As
Only
well.
these bottles, not those other, not that
They
other
fill that for
brand.
very specific things. No, like that. What you have right now, like
Yeah.
60, like growler 64 ounce. I don't know if they'd fill up a stainless steel one. It might
No,
have to be
I'm
glass.
saying that
Very particular.
this brand, Asobu, has an agreement with every brewery in the country, and if it's an Asobu bottle, they will fill it up. If it's a Sasquatch bottle, they will not.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now that's the selling point.
And if they don't, email us at bigblueunited.com.
Dan's waiting.
Email Dan, bigblueunitedpodcast@gmail.com. You complain, he will reimburse you fully for the growler pour. Just have to find him first. So Colin, I do actually want to talk about Wink and Kakfa, since I think that is really actually the most important thing going on with the Giants right now.
That's actually a good name for a
seems to
band.
not be talking about. What is?
Winking Kafka.
Winking Kakfa.
Yeah.
That's like Breaking Benjamin or yeah. Sorry.
Oh, you guys want to see Winking Kakfa at the Chance, bro?
Yeah.
Strode Choker's opening.
Yeah, sure. So anyway, it's the off season. You're gonna have to bear with some of this stupid humor that we're gonna be.
I mean,
doing.
it's technically not the off season yet, but yes,
it's our off season.
Yes.
We can talk about the Super Bowl later. Who gives a hoot about it?
For the majority of people, it's the off season.
Yeah. Yes. Agreed. But yeah. Anyway. So Kakfa is on his second interview, a front runner for the the Cardinals head coaching job.
Yeah.
Apparently down to him and Bengals DC Lou Anarumo.
Oh yeah, that guy's been needing a head coaching job for years, so that makes a lot of sense.
And
Two ends of
I've
the
heard
spectrum.
Brian Flores in the mix as well.
Flores is in Viking. He's the Viking defensive coordinator.
Oh, okay. Good for him. I'm glad he got a legit job again. And also apparently Wink is a front runner for the Colts job.
That
reading
seems perfect.
Mainly up against Shane Steichen, the Eagles head coach, or Eagles offensive coordinator. So the likelihood of these guys leaving is pretty high at this point. I think I want to start with Wink because I don't remember if it was one of you that texted this, and I fully agree that Wink Martindale and Jim Irsay probably just boys immediately. They're probably up in Indiana,
drinking,
having a bunch of Three Floyds, some Alpha Kings, some Zombie Dusts, and bonding over, telling each other stories about, driving
drunk,
driving after taking Xanax.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's a match made in heaven.
I mean,
what do you guys feel? You guys feel like Wink might be gone?
I mean, I think I said this to you guys too a couple of weeks ago when this started coming up. I figured that it was more realistic for Wink to go because he only has so much time left as a coach in the NFL. And he's been a coordinator for so long that this is kind of a last stab. He'd be more willing to jump for a deal that, I don't know, maybe is more team friendly just for the sole fact of getting the opportunity. Granted, he's going to be paid a lot anyway, so it doesn't matter. But Kakfa, he can get it. I think it would be stupid if he did.
That's what she said.
Yes, I didn't quite mean it like that, but I think it would be foolish for him to jump at that sort of an opportunity this early on. He's only been offensive coordinator for one season. And, I feel like that spells Josh McDaniels like through and through. Just fail somewhere else to come back home or whatever. Like, I don't want to see that for him. Is it going to happen? It might. I think it would be really terrible to lose both of them. I'd be all right losing Kakfa over Wink.
No.
Yeah. Absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. Here's why. We have Brian Dable. He's the offense guy. If we lost Wink, that's kind of starting over unless you have someone who's like a disciple of Wink.
No one's a disciple of Wink.
Exactly.
I think I quibble with McDaniels or Josh McDaniels.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Daniels.
Josh McDaniels.
McDaniels, yeah. Okay. Because by all accounts, Kakfa isn't a total douche. So there might be a little bit different success there. And he's probably not going to draft Tim Tebow.
True.
I think that's an interesting spot for him in the skill position players they have and the chance to work with Kyler Murray. Sort of a wide open offense that can do a lot of things if they draft well. And there's a lot of things up in the air at the same time because Steve Keim is gone, and I don't know that they have a GM yet. Do they even have a GM? It's certainly an interesting place to go, but there's a lot of unknowns. I agree. From our perspective, it makes sense for him to stay and only increase his value by being in this system longer, learning more from Dable. I think for the exact reasons that he should stay in New York are the reasons that Wink should probably leave. I think Wink Martindale is very much a known commodity in the NFL. He had a great season for sure for us, but he also still was Wink. He blitzed on 48% of the snaps, which is like almost like double the second most in the league. If someone, I don't know that there's a ton of teams that are A, looking to hire defensive coordinators, and B, looking to hire such an extreme defensive coordinator. If it is a match made in heaven with the Colts, I could definitely see him going and giving it a shot. And he might boomerang back because, we know he's a great motivator on the defense, but what does he know outside of defense?
Well,
or running a program?
He'd have to get someone coming in with an, that he trusts for an offensive mind.
Sure.
I mean,
and maybe take a lesson from Dable, right? Like not retreading and sort of getting the best available, getting different referrals, that kind of thing.
It's funny
that'd be
that.
Interesting to watch.
Yeah, because I mean, what was that? There was an article either in the middle of the year or in the beginning of the year about how Wink himself was just like, I was floored by the whole hiring process.
Never seen anything like it. Yeah.
Never. Yeah. And I was like, I need to be a part of this because I've never seen anyone who wasn't just so cronyismed out with his hires. It was all people that he felt like made sense instead of who would be friends with everybody. So,
yeah. I mean, he's got to hire a bunch of people until his 6 kids get of age where they could be coaches, just like Bill Belichick does. So, but I don't know. I think I would be interested to see a defense under different leadership. I would love to keep Wink Martindale, but I'm not too sure that'll happen. I think Kafka might be I think we really did well to get him. His incorporation of the Kansas City, that whole offensive plan, I think was a great combination to mix with Dable and to really get everything we can out of him. I'd like to see that in year 2, but it's crazy that he's this close to landing it in Arizona after 1 year of coordinating.
Can I ask you a question related to that? Because why is Mike Kafka being a 1-year offensive coordinator, in the front runner for being a head coach in the NFL, while his boss, Eric Bieniemy in Kansas City, has been the Chiefs offensive coordinator since 2018. They've never, they've won at least 12 games every time he's been their offensive coordinator. Why is he not in the front runner for this Cardinals head coaching job right now? It's very perplexing.
Has he even interviewed anywhere? Well, I guess they can't.
Not that I've read. They're interviewing the Eagles offensive coordinator.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's what I thought too. But he can be interviewed. He just hasn't been.
The last couple of years he's been interviewing every single offseason and been turned down more or less.
Is he very not cool or something? Is he not personable? Is he like Josh McDaniels?
Everything I've read about him is positive. I've never read a negative thing about him.
Players like to play for him. For sure.
He certainly must know the Andy Reid offense front and back. It's inexplicable, right?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Well, I mean, there's all sorts of problems with the NFL, and that.
I don't necessarily. I'm sure race has something to do with it. It always does. But it's just odd to me that you're going to take a guy who is the protege of a guy way more experienced, and then take him to be your head coach when 2 years ago he was in a quarterbacks coach.
Yeah,
it's just a weird. And I think we made the joke when he was getting considered to getting hired for some of these positions, some stupid franchise like the Raiders will hire him. Are the Cardinals that stupid? I don't know. I guess they took a flyer on Cliff Kingsbury too, and that didn't work out for them. So, learn from the past. You're trying to get these young, guys up and coming, but maybe you need to take a step back and get something more established going, especially for someone with maturity problems like your quarterback has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say the least.
But I don't want to lose either, but I think I'd rather keep Kafka. I think I'm with Dan. I think that, there are, I think there are guys out there that will come in and young guys on defense. Like I like Gerard Mayo a lot. He was a great player. He's with the Patriots. Their defense was somewhat suspect last year, but Belichick knows defense. He learned from him. I think people could step in defensive side of the ball and keep up with what's going on. I think the Giants offense has really been the issue the past few years. So if we can keep some more consistency with the offense, even though, obviously it's going to be Dable's program most of the way, but, consistency and coordinators is something Daniel Jones hasn't necessarily had. And he is looking, like he's making a leap. So I think sustaining, that would be better for the Giants. But, at the end of the day, there's not much they can do about it. So,
well, I mean, we can keep
maybe
it.
You hire Eric Bieniemy to be your offensive coordinator if Kafka leaves.
Or just keep it super in-house. I mean, you saw what happened this past weekend. Eli's ready to go.
People are actually bringing that up like it's.
Oh, stop it! I was kidding.
No, but I'm saying I think people are actually suggesting it in like an unironic way.
Oh, stop! Really? I haven't.
I remember after Daniel Jones
Ian
rookie
posted
year,
something about it. Was that a joke?
After Daniel Jones' rookie year, they interviewed Eli after he retired, and he's like, "What did you learn from this year?" He's like, "I learned that I never want to be a coach."
Yeah.
There's no way.
No,
he's doing so well, like just being funny.
Also, don't think he'd be a good coach either.
No,
probably
I don't.
not. Probably not.
He definitely doesn't want to work.
Well, you know what?
20-hour days.
If I took anything away from that Pro Bowl experience was the satisfaction of how pissed off Peyton was that he lost to his brother. He was legitimately pissed off towards the. I mean, the end of the game was a farce, but
Did you actually watch it?
I watched bits and pieces. I wanted to watch more of the actual game. What they did is they mixed in all those like weird like circuit games that are all like the I don't know what you want to call them. Like they were doing weird stuff like pushing
stuff you do at field day in elementary school,
which was fine. But like I wanted to see the actual flag football, and you know what? It was entertaining enough. I thought it was kind of interesting that quarterbacks had a radio in their ear and the plays were being called in from the sideline. I thought that was kind of cool. Hey, it's a hell of a lot better than the Pro Bowls have been for the last 20 years. So yeah. I was cool with it.
Do you want to know my favorite part of the Pro Bowl? I had it on because I was folding laundry, and there was
perfect.
So it was great. So there was a period where the announcers just started talking about how much fun they were having, and how much fun the audience was having, and how much fun the players were having. And I'm like, this shit is boring when the announcers are like trying to convince you that it isn't boring. And like, what the culmination of it was for me, how piss poor it was that catch that competition between Amon-Ra St. Brown and Stephon Diggs, where they were like, trying to do some sort of dunk contest thing, and it was just a complete failure. Just absolute failure.
It
was so entertaining. The only good part was when Pete Davidson gave like Stephon Diggs a 69, and just had this look at this like, why am I here right now? Like, I don't know anything about football.
Wait. What did he do after he gave him the 69? Did he score his catch or?
Hey. I mean, I'm sure he's Eskimo Brothers with half the dudes there. So,
oh Jesus!
Oh, maybe that was a bad one.
Yeah.
But yeah, Pro Bowl. I mean, I guess this format is better.
Yeah,
because what they were doing before was just stupid. It wasn't at all interesting.
At least lean into the idea that it's silly. Like before, it was like, no, put on your pads and play football. No one was actually going to do it.
Why would you put your body on the line? It makes no sense. I'm with you. Like, yeah, the guys don't want to do it. It's a different era. I think it's a welcome change. I think they could tweak it and make it better, but this is the right thing to do.
There was like no blocking allowed at all, which was interesting. So like even the guy who snapped it had to kneel down and like be out of the play, which was odd. I thought at least maybe try like let that person get in the way of blitzers, but it was like no, free blitzers all at their will, and then you had to scramble.
There's very specific rules. You have to be like 7 yards from the line of scrimmage if you're blitzing, I believe.
Yeah.
And those refs were taking it really seriously, which actually was also pretty funny. Like, they're calling like illegal shift in a flag football game. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, no, these guys just learned the rules to this game too. Maybe take it a little easy. Like, this is for fun.
You know what I would have liked to see? I would have liked to see them play like basketball or like, we always say, like, imagine these guys playing soccer.
Sure.
Like watching Stephon Diggs play soccer. Would be
Ooh,
sick.
Probably bad. Probably
That would be
really
fun. I feel like the NFL would never go for that, but
Yeah.
it would be fun.
They're
Yeah.
trying to grow the sport in Europe, man. I bet if I was a European dude, I'd be interested to see that.
Interesting.
I don't know. I would love to see that, but I feel like the NFL's gonna be like, our All-Star game is a basketball game. Like,
Yeah.
You know what?
No.
I actually got a better idea. Instead of doing these games, you know what they should do? Is the draft. Right then.
Yeah. Wow.
So we don't have to wait.
Yeah. I missed there was, I guess they split the main game into 3 games, and I missed the first one. I think that's when Dexter Lawrence and Saquon played. So I didn't even
so convoluted and stupid.
what the whole experience.
They split the game into 3 games.
Well, they did it like a table structure, like in soccer. Each event was a different point amount, and the game was just another one of those. So I mean, they did 2 halves for all 3 of the games.
Yeah.
So there's like
I also don't think Dexter Lawrence's skills translate to
flag football. Yeah, unless he was throwing the ball.
He was good when they were doing like that sled pulling.
I
That was
hope
the only
so.
time the NFC won. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the announcers were like, Dexter Lawrence is the largest person at the Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what I want to hear, man.
Yeah.
I love
He's a giant.
Yeah.
The stage is set, and we're counting down to the battle in Arizona. There's no better way to get ready for the NFL action than with DraftKings Sportsbook, official sports betting partner of Super Bowl 57. New customers can bet just $5 and get 200 in free bets instantly. Plus, all new and existing customers can take a shot at even bigger payout with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Boost your Super Bowl 57 winnings with each leg you add up to 100%. And that's what I'm doing this weekend, all parlays, all same-game parlays. I'm going to, bet on the Gatorade color. And if Rihanna, maybe she'll have some cleavage. Maybe that'll be a prop bet. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code TPPN. New customers can bet $5 on Super Bowl 57 and get 200 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code TPPN. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void in Ohio. See show notes for details. Love that. I saw a nice video with him and his nephew. And his nephew was like a big Justin Jefferson fan. He got to meet him. That was cute. He was real happy. They did the gritty, whatever that is. Well, by the way, where does that come from? Where does that originated?
No idea. But
I don't know.
Good. I'm so happy neither of you know the answer to this.
I don't know. It could be from a song. I don't know. But I do have to say something about Dexter that I think is interesting. And I don't know if this is like a fad, but did you see the pictures of him walking around with the tiny little old school video camera, like from 15 years ago? Like not using his phone for videos. He had his own little Sony thing. Like I haven't seen it since like high school era. And I'm like, why? What are people using old school video apparatuses again? And like that's the cool thing to do. I don't know. It was very strange.
Maybe if you're doing like a constant filming sort of thing. I mean, you can't just hold your phone all day. It sounds annoying.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know much about what's cool. I don't know who did the halftime show of the Pro Bowl either, but they did that song. I know one of the songs.
Ray
Sherman?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it was bad. It was real bad.
It's what I like. Whatever that song is.
The gritty dance was originally invented by Louisiana's Alan Davis, a friend of former LSU wide receiver Jamar Chase, who wanted to create a rhythmic dance after he was inspired by the Nene craze in the mid-2010s.
Oh, so it does have its origins in football. I like that.
At LSU, nonetheless, where
that makes it better.
3 of them went to school.
Huh.
Justin Jefferson went to LSU?
Oh, yeah.
He did?
Oh, yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's just wide receiver U now.
Good for them, man. Yeah, they're pumping out some talent out of that.
Yeah, no quarterbacks besides Burrow.
Joey B. But he looks poised to be top 3 quarterback for next decade or so.
Yeah, what was it?
I hope so too. I like Joe Burrow.
Me too. I didn't like how people were doing the whole cigar thing after they lost, like rubbing it into his face. It's like, all right, guys, enough. Like he's gonna come back and
biting his style,
smoking a cigar, like
sorry for having a personality.
But they were
doing cigars,
but they were doing it to like like say screw you, Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
It's like,
I saw Pat Mahomes' dad smoking the
Yes.
cigar.
yep.
Oh,
By the way,
guess
Pat
who's
Mahomes'
super
dad
not
looks
funny?
like I want to have a beer with that guy because he seems pretty cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, he's a former Met,
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah, former baseball player. Yep.
You know who I don't want to have a beer with is Travis Kelce, the most unfunny dude I've encountered.
I think he's brain dead.
He's cringe,
The
man.
fact that there were so many tweets after that saying Burrow had my ass, like it was like a funny thing. Like people were amazed like he said that. Did you see like Twitter after that?
No. I didn't even know what happened. What was that?
Oh, when they were interviewing Pat Mahomes after the game, like Kelsey comes on screen and he's just like, "Bro had my ass," like talking stuff, like talking
Oh,
trash.
I did.
about,
I did see him.
and everyone like on social
come up
media
to the
was
mic
like,
and then I turned it off because
Yeah.
I hate him.
just not. You could be more funny than that.
I think he's stupid. I think
And then he did like a rock impersonation after the game too, as well, which he called them jabronis.
Hey, you know what the biggest shame is? His brother's a lot cooler than he is, and he's on the team that I can't stand. So it's a big bummer.
You know what round they drafted? What's his name? Other Kelsey,
Jason.
Jason Kelsey in
third or fourth, I think.
sixth.
Sixth, perfect.
Yeah.
Nice.
He is the second highest or the highest rated center in the NFL. And you know who the second highest rated center in the NFL is? Your boy Creed Humphrey, the Chiefs center, of course.
Yeah.
So that just goes to show you what you should invest your money in the offseason, which is not is interior offensive line.
Yeah.
And not running back. But we're not going to talk about Jones and Saquon today. We're not there. We don't need to talk about it. You know what I do want to talk about is a lot of this wide receiver trading talk that's out there in the ether and the Twitter sphere.
Yeah.
Because I think people are somehow convinced that the Giants need to make one move to be successful and are willing to give up, first round pick for, T. Higgins is the guy I've heard the most, and Brandon Ayuk as well. Did I pronounce his name right?
It's a little funky at the end, but
Ayuk.
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 Yeah, I don't know.
How would you say it?
Ayuk, I think is right.
Ayuk.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen Michael Pittman. I've seen Deontay Johnson too. I don't
Michael
know.
Pittman. I haven't seen that one. That's
I just think Dan, you made a really good point. I think maybe a year ago about the Bills and how they built a competent roster and then went out and felt the need to part with your luxury. With your first round pick for your luxury wide receiver. And I just don't think the Giants are there yet.
Agreed.
And it's not a good move for them right now.
Yeah, no. I'd say lean into the draft on that one, and maybe if you get like a mid to low level free agent flyer kind of situation when Slayton probably goes. So
there's going to be a lot of movement too. I don't remember when, but in the offseason when people don't get unrestricted free agent or restricted free agents become unrestricted and people get cut, there's going to be a lot of things that happen and change there. I do appreciate that at least they're talking about like young wide receivers where I could stomach trading the first round pick for T. Higgins because he's 24 and he'll be around for a while. But again, I'm reticent to have someone like him because he's playing alongside Jamar Chase, and who knows, how much that frees him up to do what he does. I think he's very good, but yeah, I agree. I'd rather take shots in the draft. I like Brandon Ayuk. I'd be much more inclined to take him for, trading a second round pick and getting Brandon Ayuk in the second round. That'd be jackpot, in my opinion. But parting with a first round pick for whoever's out there right now, I think I think Joe Shane is a little too prudent for that at this stage of the game, and there's so many other needs. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's becoming silly season, and we're already there, and it's not even
Silly
the Super Bowl.
season.
It's really it. I mean,
like, it's funny that T. Higgins, everyone's T. Higgins. I'm like, I don't know the Bengals organization inside and out or anything like, the Giants, but if I'm the Bengals and I am basically a Super Bowl contender, even though T. Higgins is on the last year of his deal, he was a second round pick, so he doesn't have fifth year option. Like, why are you breaking up your offense when you are, poised to possibly win the Super Bowl next year? I don't think they should make him available. And if they do, I think it's silly. An extra first-round pick is awesome for a guy who may or may not walk because, they're going to have to pay Burrow and Chase, so they're probably not going to be able to afford him. But, you need to put your best foot forward next year and try and win the Super Bowl. And you're not trading, your number 2 receiver. And then at the same token, like you trade a first-round pick for this guy, and then, as soon as he comes on your team, you're going to pay him, Kenny Golladay money, if not more. So it's not really, and if the Bengals aren't going to re-sign him anyway because they can't afford it, why don't you just go after him free agency a year later and save your first-round pick?
Yeah, exactly.
The Giants I don't think we're expecting to win the Super Bowl again, next year.
And let the the Twitter talking heads run their mouths. Joe Shane knows what's really good. He's not going to be springing for silly trades right now. He's not. Yeah. He's still building. I mean, there was a quote that I saw the other day that at this point last year he was drinking from a fire hose. That's what he felt like.
Yeah, for sure.
Thanks, Dave. You really set him up to really be struggling from the get-go. And further to that, he was just like, I think we're feeling pretty good right now with what we did in our first year. I think that's a stepping stone, a building platform, and it's only up from here. And that means don't expect any crazy moves. They're just not going to get them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, I mean, I think
and shut up with the DeAndre Hopkins stuff.
Oh,
I actually wanted to ask. I mean, what do you think his market value is?
Oh,
probably. Do you think you could trade a like a 4th or 5th round pick for him at this point? I feel like you might be able to.
I think so
because the injuries.
Yeah,
and he's old, I guess, but when he was healthy, he was really good.
Yeah.
I don't know what his market value is, but
what if I told everybody back? A little technical difficulty.
Never went anywhere.
Oh, I was gone.
Oh,
I'm back. Anyway, I just said $30 million.
Oh. Speaking of wide receivers and feeling old, AJ Green retired.
Yeah. He was great for a while on the Bengals. Too bad he, literally the season he left that team and went to the Cardinals was the season they went to the Super Bowl, if I'm not mistaken. I feel for people like that. In their careers.
Good player,
but
though.
What if Hopkins was willing to, restructure that deal? He's got to have 2 seasons left in him. I might do that if you could bring his cap number down and the asking price is a 4th or 5th round pick. That's the only sort of trade I could imagine them doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's team friendly, and it gives him a shot at one final send off kind of situation. Yeah, that's okay. That I would entertain that sort of thing, mid to late picks and restructuring. That otherwise, no, those front end picks have to be kept for linemen and probably wide receiver. So
yeah. I mean, I haven't done enough off-season research to know like kind of who's out there in the wide receiver market right now. But I'd imagine most of the good guys will get gobbled up by their teams around right now, as is usually.
Must be the theme of the episode. You really haven't done your research, huh?
I've never done my research. So many people on the internet have said, you didn't do your research. I'm like, yeah, I know, man. I haven't been watching YouTube because I got a job.
Yeah, I
got to pay some bills, man. I'm not like my dad who's retired who can sit around and watch YouTube videos all day. Whatever this algorithm does to your brain, I don't know. It's not good, though.
No, it's not.
Just like what Twitter is trying to do to me. Have you seen this? Libs of TikTok?
No.
Twitter, by the
way? I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's just like this woman who's like obsessed with taking pictures of like teachers on Halloween and then pretending that that's how they dress all the time.
Oh my God.
And telling you to homeschool your kids.
Oh God.
Got it.
Yeah, it's really great. And the comments are just like gold. It's sort of like, how do you have the time to spend on Twitter and like argue with people about these things? It just makes me laugh. I don't know. It's the funny world we live in, isn't it?
It's getting funnier by the day, and I think we're feeling.
By funny, I don't mean funny.
Not funny at all. Yeah. That's a nice way of putting it, actually.
I don't know. I feel like, a lot of these like sort of media illiterate people were born in a generation where the internet wasn't so readily available, where you're like more keen on believing sort of the things you see in the news.
Yeah.
Because that's what was on TV. That's all there is. And then all of a sudden now you're unable to sort of differentiate between the misinformation and the real information. I feel like our generation, we grew up with the internet, we know these things.
It's still
to a
weird.
degree.
It's still weird for us though, because we're on that fringe of like, yeah, we were the first to like be there all the time, but now it's starting to enter its next and even third levels of what it was when we were, 15, 14 years old, and it's just getting stranger. Yeah.
I still get all my news from rotten.com, baby. That's all
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm on Drudge Report.
I need.
Nice.
I don't know. Do you guys want to talk about anything else today? I mean, who are we rooting for in the Super Bowl? I never asked you that.
So
Chiefs?
thank you.
I mean,
Thank you. Thank you for bringing that up because I did want to talk about this. I wanted, obviously it's the Chiefs, but I want to actively root for Kadarius Toney to A, not be healthy enough to play, and if he does play, then get knocked out and injured horribly during the game.
I'd like Kadarius and James Bradbury to just run head first, helmet to helmet at each other. First play of the game, they're both out, and I'm like, all right, let's go, Pat. I can't believe I'm rooting for Patrick Mahomes.
Yep.
The new Patriots, as I like to call them. But you can't let the Eagles, start sneaking up on those Super Bowl wins because that's kind of all we have on them the last couple decades.
I mean, they've got some ways to go. But let's keep them from
Eagles got a long way to go
underwater. So what they should probably do is turn into the new 90s, but the now version of the 90s Bills. Go to as many Super Bowls as you want, never win one. I don't care.
4 in a row? Yeah. That was wow. Imagine being a Bills fan in that stretch.
Rough.
Yeah. Real rough. And then they were just like
good.
Terrible until they drafted Josh Allen.
You kind of fall off a cliff after a while. It's like, oh, we got to the Super Bowl again. Oh, we didn't win again. All right, then people get fed up and pissed off, and it's Buffalo.
It's almost like you didn't want to get there at all to lose, and then lose 4 times. It's almost like you let it lose in the wild card round 4 years in a row.
And then poor Jim Kelly and his whole experience the last 10 years.
Oh yeah, that's a bummer for Jim Kelly.
Not great.
Yeah.
But yeah, Chiefs. It's going to be weird. It's going to be tough because it's clear that the Eagles are the better team, but it's just such. It is at this point with the way it's all kind of.
Yeah, I guess they're well-rounded. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you want it to be the Chiefs, but
it's just any offense with a healthy Patrick Mahomes is the best offense in the NFL.
That's the question, isn't it?
Well, we'll see if he's healthy. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to do a little gambling, I think, and I'm leaning towards a Chiefs victory.
By how much?
It's going to be a very close game. I actually think it's going to be a good game, and I do hope that. I think what was it, the AFC Championship game? The Chiefs had Juju was out. Who else was out? Kelsey was out.
Kadarius was out, basically.
Who cares about him? Who's the other guy? Mecole Hardman was out. Sky Moore, so they had Sky Moore and MVS. And MVS had a great game. And Patrick Mahomes is beat up. So I think, the Chiefs has a lot of playmakers. If Mahomes, is healthier, which he has to be, it's 2 weeks removed. I think they have a great shot. And I think they're going to expose an Eagles defense that is not as good as people think they are.
I like that. And I feel like it's not being talked about enough. And I know he wouldn't make it a big deal, but I feel like it's hard pressed not to talk about. I mean, this is the Andy Reid Bowl. This is the Eagles, Andy Reid, Chiefs Bowl. It's weird. Yep. It's a weird situation, I
never even thought about that storyline until you just brought it up. That's interesting. Yeah.
It's been so long since he was there. It almost feels like he wasn't there in the first place. And all we knew in the 2000s was him in green. So it's a strange situation. And frankly, I don't even hate the guy anymore at all.
I never hated Andy Reid. I always liked his offense. When the Giants used to play the Eagles and, Brian Westbrook, they never ran the ball. They were just running swing passes to Westbrook constantly, and it was just working. It was just interesting, in offense that sort of would wear you down over time.
Yeah. As
opposed to kind of what they run now, which is just a big play offense, which is, the most exciting offense to watch in the NFL.
Yeah.
I would say. But I think basically I just hope it's a fun game to watch. And Gonna have some beer and
are
eat
you are
some
you
food and
excited
chill.
for Bad Girl Riri for
Actually, yes, I am.
yeah, I don't
I like
know.
Rihanna. I do like Rihanna.
I think it might blow.
I was intoxicated after our staff party the other night, and I listened to the entire "This Is Rihanna" playlist on Spotify.
Okay, what do you think?
Yeah, she's great. She's great. I mean, the production is just incredible.
yeah,
obviously,
top notch. Umbrella's a great
it's
song.
it's pop music. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to know what you're listening to. I'm not going to like go out of my way to listen to Rihanna all the time, but every once in a while, you sprinkle in a couple Rihanna songs into your mix. I think it's a good idea.
She's going to pull out some randos too. There's always those guest appearances of people you wouldn't expect, like Steven Tyler is going to come out of nowhere for no good reason.
Do you know what the best Rihanna song is? It's called "Hard" featuring Young Jeezy, and it's just Young Jeezy should come out and do that song with her because that would be cool.
I'm sorry, I would be remiss not to mention this. I watched the Grammys last night, and there was the whole section about 50 years of hip hop, and Too Short was on it, and I was pumped up.
I know,
awesome.
I couldn't believe that, dude.
It was.
Too
great.
Short is iconic.
More so than people realize.
He is one of the first hip hop artists who did like an album or recording. Like he's an OG, even though the content of his lyrics is just like the most ridiculous thing ever. I mean, I saw too. They had like a image in the background. I saw Aesop Rock on there. I saw Atmosphere on there.
Oh no way!
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't. I missed
cool.
that.
I'll send you a still of it when we're done with this.
Please do. It was great. It was all totally curated by Questlove and Black Thought started it, which was cool. It was like
I didn't watch that part.
It was a whole Roots production and with everybody involved. It was wild. I mean,
maybe I'll watch it on YouTube. My favorite part was
15 minutes.
I only watched a little bit of it, but I turned it on like right during the Sam Smith performance. And I started watching it and I'm like, oh yeah, I've heard this song a few times. It's kind of cool, kind of dark beat, whatever. And then kind of halfway to the song, I was like, oh, the conservatives aren't really going to like this, are they?
No.
And then this morning I see that Ted Cruz is very upset about it and the devil worship.
Yeah. Cool.
God.
Great.
Snowflake.
Well, that was the point. You just totally missed it, you moron. That was the point. He was doing that to make you mad, you stupid person. But anyway.
Yeah, whatever. Okay. What else? That's it? Good to go?
Yeah, I think we're good.
I could talk about Ted Cruz for a while.
It's a spin-off pod.
Got a lot of pent-up anger right now. Anyway, thank you guys for listening tonight. Please follow Big B United on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Follow us, BBU Podboys with a Z on Twitter. Download that DraftKings app. Use promo code TPPN when you sign up. And don't forget to check out asobubottle.com. That is asobubottle.com. Dan, you pronounced it better than I did.
Asobu.
Asobubottle.com. I really need to get a speech therapist or something.
Yeah.
This is not working out for me.
All right, everybody, do your research.
Have a good night. Do your research.